I love the idea that he continues wearing his wedding ring, that he doesn't name the dog in this one. And I was just curious, like, I would assume he doesn't name the dog because of maybe the connection and the fear of losing the dog. Can you talk about the character's decision not to name the dog?
Yeah, so there's the Hound. You know, the film takes place about 5 days after the first chapter, let's call it, John Wick 1. And I'm going back to get my car. But I have the dog, the Hound, that I rescued from the shelter at the end of the first one. He doesn't have a name yet because there isn't a name yet. Have you ever had a pet?
Yeah, I have a dog named Oscar.
Okay, so was there a moment when Oscar became Oscar?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't had that moment.
Okay.
John Wick hasn't had the moment yet. And to psychologically, maybe, I hadn't thought about it, but maybe there is a reluctance for the connection. But he wants connection with the Hound. You know, you see the way that he greets it, you know. But I just think there isn't a name yet.
Have you thought about possible names?
You know, I didn't think. Maybe if we have the chance to do 3, then maybe it'll have a name.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd just be called Dog.
Dog. That would be awesome. Now, I love that Chad is directing this film. He was your stunt double in The Matrix, which was unbelievable. I was remembering, going back to The Matrix, do you remember a particular stunt that he did that just blew your mind? I mean, there were so many action scenes in that film, but was there one that, like, blew you away that Chad did?
In the first one, he really just had to take some really kind of sketchy blows. Like, there's a thing where Neo's in the subway on the ground part, and he's looking up, and the train's coming, and Smith is on his back, and he goes up into the ground, and then he comes back down.
Yes. And he hits his back on the ceiling.
He was flying down. Well, Chad had that gentleman. He had a stuntman on his back, and he blew his knee out after he did that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but like it was bad.
That's crazy. Now, obviously, when you see you and Laurence Fishburne on screen again, it is, for a movie nerd, it was awesome. But the beauty of this movie is that you do still connect to these characters. For a second, you're kind of like, it's Neo and Morpheus, just for a second.
Right.
But I'm wondering if if John Wick were to sit in front of Morpheus, do you think he would take the blue or the red pill? And why?
Yeah, I mean, I think John Wick's a red pill guy. Yeah, he's very much a red pill guy. And I think even through the course of the film, he's becoming more and more a red pill guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's like he's starting to kind of, there is a little bit of like John Wick, because he's a guy of honor and code, and he's starting to, the rules are starting to kind of cramp his personal agency.
Yeah.
So he's starting to put, and that maybe that's very red pill-like.
Now, I was geeking out beyond belief during the mirror sequence, and I know as an actor, there's a different vibe there as the director. The director's shooting it a certain way, you're acting a certain way, but I'm still blown away by how
those
he shot
connect.
it.
But anyway.
Yeah, but where? How do they erase the camera? And are you blocking it a certain way in your actions? What do
they used every trick in the book. So it's blocking, it's transitioning, it's turning the mirrors at certain times, and it's digital assist, right? So they're erasing the camera out of the images.
Oh my God!
It's a pretty cool sequence, I thought.
Yeah, that is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Thank you so much for the interview, man. The movie
thank you.
Did you see the Ultimate Edition, the 3-hour cut?
I have not.
They explain so much. It's an amazing film.
Wow.
They go into the whole bullet theory of Amy Adams' character. It's so good. You got to watch it.
What's your favorite moment in the movie?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I love the warehouse scene. When he pops up and throws that dude's face into the wooden block, I was geeking out beyond belief. What was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment is, don't worry, I'm a friend of your son's.
Yeah.
I figured the cape.
That was great.
That's my favorite moment.
Well, it's good to see you. It's an honor
You
to be
too.
here. When
Thanks.
I was 14 years old, I sat in a theater and watched The Matrix for the first
Sure.
time. It just changed my life, and I'm sure,
Sure.
it's a big deal. So for me, watching this film and seeing you two back on screen together, Chad was his stunt double in The Matrix. So I'm wondering, did that mean that you had to fight Chad in certain scenes when he was doing the choreography, like when that worked out?
No, but the fact is that we all worked really closely together because we were there for so long. And it's 3 movies, so we spent the better part of 3 years together working.
Yeah.
And so when I had a chance to talk to Keanu about John Wick, I had seen it and I was like, man, it was so great. It was I couldn't. Wow, how do you? Hey, can you? I'd like to be in that thing. And he was like, oh, wait. And so he called Chad and blah, blah, blah. One thing led to another, and they actually had something that they had hoped that I would be interested in if they ever got to
a sequel.
And so it just sort of worked out.
Oh, it's
perfectly.
amazing. I think this is better than the first one. I love
It's
the
so
first
much fun.
one. Yeah.
I love the first one.
Me too. This
There
one's
are
so
things.
much.
There are things in the first one that I like more, and there are things in this one that I like more in the first one. Like the opening of this one,
Perfect.
is crazy.
When he puts that guy down with the shotgun and holds him and reloads it, I was like, what is happening here? I think I literally started crying in the movie. It was-
What I love is just that it opens on his feet.
Yeah.
But you know it's him.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing all this crazy stuff with the bike and the
Yeah.
car, and you're like, oh no, it was really hilarious.
It was sick. He worked with some of the greatest filmmakers of all time. And I'm wondering, do filmmakers stay with you in regards to when you shoot a scene in John Wick 2, do you think of the Wachowskis? Do you think of John Singleton? Do you think of filmmakers?
You know, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm thinking about that, and that pretty much is it. I mean, you know, you may have a moment where, you know, they do something and you think, oh, it might, you know, reminds me of this one or it reminds me of that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every experience that you have informs whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you got to geek out on so many different sets. You've seen so many movies. What geeks you out? Like when you get to walk onto a movie set, and do you like to watch like the squibs going off, like the action scenes? What do you love about a movie set so much?
You know, I've been on movie sets all my life, so
Yeah.
it's really home for me in many ways, you know. So I just feel fortunate that I actually get to do what I do.
One thing I love about you is I love you're a musician, but also an actor, and I think there's such a big connection between those two. You've worked with some of the greatest producers of all time, Questlove, Neptunes, Kanye,
Yeah.
and then you have directors, and I feel like directors and producers in music could be very similar people, and I'm wondering, can you compare and contrast that working relationship that you have with Chad to maybe doing an album with Kanye, like
Yeah.
on good music?
Well, I think, you know, like, I would compare Chad. He has a certain intensity that I really love. Like, when it comes to him, like, telling you how the scene might go, he'll hop in there and start, you know, acting out the fight and showing you what he thinks the punch should look like. And, you know, I love that Kanye has that intensity that you will get, that he really cares. They both really care a lot. But if I was to equivalent Chad, I wouldn't make him a producer like Kanye, because Chad can be even more quiet. Kanye will be like saying everything, like, but Chad is still gonna let you know what he needs, and that's where they meet with the intensity. But it is a similarity to producers and directors, especially when they both are good, and Chad is definitely, like, he's a master of this world.
As a musician, do you think about the music your characters would like? Like, do you have any idea what would Cassian listen to? Do you think he's what kind of music is he into?
Oh man, Cassian ranges from everything from soul music to rock music to classical music. You know, Cassian, as you saw, he speaks Italian, so he's world, you know, educated in many ways, and so his music would range. It would be some rap in there, but there's some rock, like some Pink Floyd, and you know, it was some Led Zeppelin. But then there's also some classical in there, just when he need to get his mind in that place.
The scene that I don't think I've ever felt pain watching a film. Like, I felt like I was hurting for your character when you guys are rolling down the steps.
Oh man,
How are they shooting? I mean, I know there's stunt guys, but what do you have to do for a moment like that?
Well, I mean, a lot of work that you see in the film is definitely not stunt guys doing it. A lot of work is us. What do we do to prepare is, man, we give our all. We like learn as much of the language, the fighting styles. Keanu's been at this for a while, and he knows it, but I had to learn the language. And then once you get the language, you start learning the new things that they're bringing to the table, like that Chad, our director, and his team brings to the table as far as fighting and stunt coordinating. And they start coming with all this stuff called gung fu, kung fu, car fu, jiu-jitsu, which you know, obviously is a form of fighting. You got to learn all these things and then get in there and be cool in your suit and kill it. So that's what we ended up doing, and like, we were out on the streets of Rome, rolling around on the ground, doing everything we needed to do to just let Cassian and John Wick have the best fights.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal.